We live in a time where everything feels fast. Trends move fast, opinions move fast, outrage moves fast, applause moves fast, but impact doesn't. And in my opinion, that's a problem. We're surrounded by attention, but starving for attention span. Everything feels urgent and nothing feels important. We react to almost everything. We commit to almost nothing. We forget great ideas in weeks. We forget great moments in days. And we forget great people in months. Not because they weren't meaningful, but because something louder showed up. And I don't say that from a place of like fear or anger. I say it from a place of awareness because I understand it. We all want to be seen. We all want to matter. We all want to feel like our voice counts, and that's human. But when attention becomes the goal, impact can become a casualty. And the line that keeps coming back to me is we're not short on attention. We're short on attention span. We see everything. We process almost nothing. We form opinions instantly. We forget context immediately. And because everything moves so fast, we mistake speed for importance. And we mistake volume for influence. We mistake being loud for being right. And this isn't about politics. It isn't about sides. This is about culture. A culture that moves too fast to build anything deep. And in my opinion, depth is where real change happens. One of the strangest things about right now is how quickly people choose sides. They don't do it after thinking. They don't choose sides after learning, but they do it after reacting. An opinion becomes an identity, and once identity is involved, the conversation dies because now it's about being right. It's about being loyal. And I sit in a weird place with this because I can talk about both sides. I don't belong to a camp. I don't get offended by opinions. I can see flaws on both sides. I can see strengths on both sides, but being neutral now feels illegal. Nuance feels suspicious. If you don't pick a side loudly, people assume that you're picking the wrong one quietly. And that's dangerous because when everything becomes polarized, nothing gets examined, and we stop listening. We stop asking better questions. We stop staying long enough to understand something. And when everything is urgent, nothing is important. So let's talk about something honestly. Wanting to be seen is not bad. It's human. We want recognition. We want to matter. We want to feel like our voice landed somewhere. That's not ego. That's wiring. That's human. But something shifts when being seen becomes the main goal, because then behavior changes. Now it's not about building something real. It's about being or creating moments, or creating hot takes, or quick reactions, or creating viral clips, instant applause. And none of that is evil, but none of that builds legacy. Being seen is not the problem. Being seen for nothing is. Attention is easy now. Impact is still hard. Impact has always been hard. And our culture confuses the two constantly. To me, this is where leadership shows up. Not in noise, not in volume, not in performance, but in patience. So look at people who actually last, like LeBron James. LeBron didn't become LeBron because of moments. He became LeBron because of seasons. Year after year, adjustment after adjustment, evolution after evolution. And that's not flashy. That's discipline. Gary Vaynerchuk, Gary V didn't build his position by winning debates. He built it by showing up for decades and being willing to look wrong early. Elon Musk doesn't spend his time defending every opinion about him. He builds, people argue, and he builds. That's the pattern. Real leaders don't chase moments. They build seasons. They don't need to be loud every day. They need to be right over time. And that takes patience. Most people don't have patience to practice. Most people don't have the patience to practice patience. This shows up in creativity too. So in music, in art, in business, in ideas, everything meaningful looks boring before it looks important. So the best albums weren't hot takes, they were slow burns. The best businesses weren't viral, they were consistent. The best leaders weren't just loud, they were steady. But it seems like our culture rewards speed. So creators rush, and thinkers rush, builders rush. And rushing can kill depth. If you don't stay with something long enough, you never get past the surface. You never get to see what it could become. You only see what it looks like at the beginning, and beginnings are messy. That's why so many good things die early, not because they weren't good, but because nobody stayed long enough. Nobody stayed long enough for them to matter. And so here's the cost to this whole movement, the current culture. We move so fast that we don't feel grounded. We scroll so much that we don't feel focused. We react so often that we don't feel intentional. Everything feels busy and nothing feels built. And over time, that does something to people. They feel restless. They feel scattered. They feel like they're doing a lot, but they are becoming little. That's not because they're lazy. It's because culture trains speed and not depth. It trains reaction and not reflection. It trains motion and not direction. I'm not here to tell you to slow down. I'm not here to tell you that you should post less. And I'm not here to tell you to stop caring. I'm here to just challenge something deeper. Stay with things longer. Stay with ideas longer. Stay with people longer. Stay with conversations longer. Stay with your craft longer. You don't need to talk louder. You don't need to post more. You don't need to pick a side today. You don't need to pick a side at all. You just need to stay with something long enough for it to matter. Because attention creates moments, and attention span creates impact. And impact is what actually changes things.